Hello, everyone. Welcome to Zonan Canada. I'm your host, Jesse Betteridge. This is a podcast where we discuss the connections between anime and Canadian media. And this time around, we've all been very busy going to various conventions this summer, or during one specific weekend at least. And I was hoping that we could do a little bit of coverage on that with a couple of my friends. So joining us, actually for the first time, is Pierre. Pierre, would you like to introduce yourself for the folks listening at home?
Hello, I'm Pierre. I'm the co-president of Nadeshuko Club. I'm also, a Uber geek, a role-playing game master, very much anime enthusiast.
And you're a Ghostbuster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a Ghostbuster too. I believe that's everything. Oh, I'm a father.
A very happy, proud father at
Yes.
that. And you conventions
I'm,
as a vice president of the Nadeshiko Club, conventions tend to keep you pretty busy
yes.
over the course of the year.
Yes, absolutely. Pretty much this Otakuthon, every Otakuthon I can say, but that keeping me pretty busy about that.
All right. And also joining us today is Christian. Christian, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me back. Hey, hello, everybody. My name is Christian. I am known as Kurotsuki on the internet, although I prefer to go by Chris now. I'm, Canadian guy. I've been otaku for a long time. I like to go to conventions. I like to go to events in Japan. And yeah,
You do you go to music events quite a bit, and
that's
you like
right.
to
Yep.
you'll chase a lot of specific performers to the ends of the earth to just see those
That
performances and autographs sometimes.
That is correct. I used to be so I've read a lot of mangas growing up. Watched a lot of animes. My thing when I used to go to conventions was going to industry panels, and over the years somehow that shifted to going for guests. So Japanese guests. So that's what I'm really about nowadays. I am in the process of relearning how to enjoy going to fan panels. It is something that over the years I guess that the presence of fan panels at convention has also diminished a bit. And as that diminished, my that my interest also changed. But I think when you came to Otakuthon last year, that was actually the first time in a long time that I was attending a fan panel, and that was a brilliant experience. I actually missed that.
I can say something about that, and so this is something I've seen too. I don't think the fan panels are less present. It's just that they move about subject. Now we can more see about the cosplay panel. They're dominating all the other subject. In the old time, it was talking about anime, and now it's all talking about cosplay.
No,
That's
no,
what
for
I
sure.
see.
You guys are whitewashing it a little bit. It's not as simple as, fan panels used to be all about the anime and now they're about other things. It's just like we've had a history of things like in character Q&A panels or ask a character panels where people will cosplay as a character and then just do interviews with the audience. Thankfully those are dying off, but those were a scourge all through the
Yeah,
2010s.
Really?
yeah. I
Yeah, so
remember that.
there's a long history of fan panels being uh, bad and off
Yeah.
topic and just
Yeah.
being utilized for people who just want to bring attention to themselves on stage as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Yes.
100%. Oh, 100%.
I remember also in the old times when Otakuthon began, most of the panel people come from. Okay, I didn't prepare anything. What's your favorite ship
Oh
about
yeah.
character in the
Oh
anime?
Those
And that
are the
oh my
worst. I've
God.
been to some
yes,
Oh
panels
my
where just like
God.
it just devolves into the audience
Yeah.
yelling their favorite ships out. Those
yes,
those are
and
the
Yeah.
worst panels.
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons we created the Nadeshiko Club is to fight against that kind of panel and to show what it is a quality panel, well made, even if not that much may I can say research as one of Mathieu or Dr. Dave panel. I'm just gonna say the waifu wars and the husband wars that we made. These are well-made panel. These are full. The room was completely full, and the fans were ecstatic. They loved that panel. But that's not. It's just a little bit more preparation. It's not something that we didn't prepare at all, and we always try to upgrade that kind of panel, make it better. We met another group of panelists who saw our panels and our way to do panels, and decide to make a group to go to different con and make their kind of panel who are a little more activities than panel, and we're felicitated.
It's always great when you touch base with other panelists that way, and
yeah.
you got to realize different strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes people will come up with you and just be amazed at the quality of a panel that you thought was only okay.
When we began the Nadeshiko Club, we wanted to do quality panels, but also to perfect ourselves and the people around us. All the people in the club are choose because they are making well-researched, well-made panel. Some people are not, how can I say, that much into research. But they're compensating for being very funny and have really a good idea about different kind of panel who can interact and, well, I can say place to people. We're always trying and give or advice between us panelists. Yeah, you should try this one. You should try something like that. Let's do this for change. Let's change that. And that way we evolve together to make a better club, a better panelist. And if people on the exterior ask us to help them, where we already have some material to help them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Some files to show how to make panels, how to talk to people, how to make their PDF or whatever.
Yeah.
This is one of our mission.
Increase the quality of panels. That's brilliant.
Well, we'll talk more about of the stuff that went on at Otakuthon this year in a bit, but I wanted to. So Christian, when I came to Otakuthon this year, we things were a bit of a mess. I was supposed to come on Wednesday. My flight was canceled, and we wound up coming a day later. And I came with my wife. We were going to do touristy stuff on Thursday. We were going to go to the Biodome, maybe the Botanical Gardens, and see the capybaras. They have capybaras at the Biodome.
That's
and
correct.
We didn't get to go because our flight was canceled, delayed for a day, so we had to cancel all that stuff. It was so hot over the weekend. Maybe we could have found time to go there, but we just couldn't fit it in. It was just so hot on the Saturday and Sunday. We're just gonna stay in the convention center. We can't do it. We can't go venture out for these things.
Yeah,
that was a little disappointed, but we stayed with you for still that one night. And interestingly, even though we were staying at your place, you did not go to Otakuthon, this fantastic convention in the city you live in, with lots of great panels and amazing guests. Chris, why didn't you go to Otakuthon? What could possibly have driven you away to what was more interesting for you than Otakuthon?
I didn't go to Otakuthon because my friends are my wallet's worst enemy. So, for those who don't know, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I am a huge fan of the Macross series. I began my journey in the Macross series fandom as a watcher of Robotech when I was a kid. I know, shameful, but I really loved Robotech growing up, and they led me to Macross, and Macross is one of my favorite things.
I can
I love
understand that. I'm
And
also a fan of Robotic Macross.
Mac,
I even got the
heck
role playing
yeah.
game.
Did you guys
All
watch
right.
Macross Plus when it was on Teletoon?
Yes.
I don't think I catched it. No.
Because I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
they I think they ran that in English and French.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
It was in French.
I watched Macross Plus on VHS back in the days, but I didn't
Okay.
realize it was on Teleton. Yeah. But anyway, so I really love Macross, and it turns out that I also really love Japanese anime music. And you know what Macross has a lot of? They have a lot of Japanese anime music. And so I have a friend who has an agency that brings a lot of Japanese guests to conventions. And as I said, like my friends are my wallet's worst enemy. He somehow, well, his company somehow managed to bring over two very important Macross guests to Animethon in Edmonton. And so I was found with no choice but having to skip on Otakuthon to, you know, go see those singers I like.
No choice. No choice at all.
No choice, no choice whatsoever. So,
How could they put
yeah.
you in this
So
position?
I know exactly. It's terrible. I hate them. Uh, so, well, I didn't mention who. So they brought Maine, who is the singing voice of Cheryl from Macross Frontier, and Juna, who is the singing voice for Mikumo from Macross Delta. And I really got into really, really, really good, got into Macross Delta in the past couple of years. So seeing Juna was like my toppest priorities.
Yeah, if anyone
Originally,
doubts your love for Macross Delta, they got to see your apartment.
actually, well, Edmonton is not the greatest city to get to from Montreal. And with work and all of that, I was really hoping I would either skip Edmonton or uh, go only for one day. But the people who run Animethon, they're bright, they're smart, and so what they did is they spread out Juna's events throughout all the 3 days of the convention. So I really again, I was left with no choice but having to attend all 3 days. Otakuthon actually brought a guest I wanted to see. Actually, I can sorry. Otakuthon actually brought a couple of guests I wanted to see. So it was really a heartbreaking decision to skip on Otakuthon this year. But I had to do what I had to do. I went to Animethon to see Juno and Main. And let me tell you, as much as I regret missing Otakuthon, I was impressed by Animethon. Uh, I chatted a bit with you about that, but I've been to anime conventions for a long time, and Animethon is probably the most well-run convention I've been to. I don't know
it,
if it's the best run, but it's one of the ones I've seen. I would say it's the one that's the best one.
yeah, it is the oldest one in Canada, so it's not
It
super surprising that they're
and
really
it's not surprising
organized.
at all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like when you see it and you're like, oh hey, yeah, last oldest convention in Canada. It makes a lot of sense. So what do I mean by that? It's simple things. It's little things that you see and you're like, huh, those guys know what they're doing. I'll just take one random example. Uh, Everywhere in the convention center, there are water stations. And what do I mean by that? It's like, it's small water jugs filled with ice cold water and a bunch of compost compostable cups. And so no matter where you are in the convention, if you are thirsty, you can go to a water station and get water. Again, it's very simple, but it makes so much difference.
Yeah, the Vancouver Convention Center for Annie Revel also does have that. It's pretty handy. The Toronto Congress Center, or the actually more the Delta Hotel part of it, they has those water stations as well, but they are not as widespread and reliable
Okay.
as I think the ones you experienced at Animethon.
Animethon, yeah.
Of course, those water stations are not as great, or they weren't as great in the conventions closer to the start of COVID, where we were wearing masks, and maybe we should still be
Yes.
wearing
Oh,
masks
true.
at conventions, but maybe not something that people are thinking about as much.
No.
But if
Yeah.
you're if you're thirsty and want water, certain places will have you covered with those types of stations. Yeah.
Hmm.
What you mentioned about the station with the water carafe and goblets, I've seen that in a couple of convention, but it was a long time ago. These days, no, we don't see that much. We At least we see more like a water station, as you say, but
Hmm.
no, we don't see more table. Even in the panel rooms, there's some water, but
Hmm.
it did not get replenished very often.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
other thing is
that's a
that
shame.
also Animethon is about half the size of
Oh yeah, no,
Otakuthon too.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, true. No, that I mean that that helps for sure. I think this year they said that the attendance number was what 15K.
Yeah,
Whereas Otakuthon
I
was
think it's
like
been covered.
36.
Yeah, they've both been kind of hovering around the same numbers for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Actually,
mean again,
Otakuthon get 36,000, 34,000 this year,
oh they
2,000
dropped.
less than yes.
Okay, okay. But yeah, no, it makes sense when you look at the again, you look at the convention center in Edmonton. I think the 15K is exactly right for what they are. And again, Edmonton is kind of a pain to get to. So besides the fans of Japanese guests who come from, let's say the United States or other cities from Canada, I don't know if I mean, obviously like 15K, I would say a lot of it. I mean, yeah, it's the population of Edmonton, anime fans, but I don't think it. I don't know if it can grow bigger than that, and that's completely fine. I
Yeah,
think the
and
people who run Animethon are completely fine with the growth rate, and again, they're well organized for the amount of people that they expect.
yeah, the further west you go in Canada, the fewer other cities you'll be able to draw from for your convention.
Mhm.
So in Alberta, I mean, in Edmonton, I think most other attendees would probably be from Calgary. Whereas, like
Right.
say in Vancouver, there are fewer places where people would come from. You might get some from Victoria, and then and I guess Seattle would really be the next closest city. But I don't think a whole lot of people come up from Seattle for the con here.
No, probably not, right? I mean, unless again there's a draw for like a Japanese guys. Like for example, I know that this year, was it True? I think it was True, right? One of the Japanese guests at no, it
Uh,
wasn't. No, it
that
was
was last
Tadokoro
year, I think.
Azusa. Yeah, True was last year. So Tadokoro, I know for sure. Yeah, Tadokoro Azusa, who I wanted to see. And I forget who the other ones are.
We'd say I had. I didn't go to Anime Revo this year,
Oh,
but
you
yeah,
didn't?
I
Okay.
didn't know. They didn't accept my panels, so I
Ah,
didn't attend. But
gotcha.
yeah, they had a couple of guests, but like nothing on the scale that Animethon and Otakuthon both had in the same time frame. I know you were considering going to anime or to Anime Revo at
Yes.
one point too.
Right, yeah, because I really did want to go see Tadokoro Azusa, but I couldn't make it work. Yeah, no, so back to Animethon. Obviously, Juna and Main was my main draw. They had other interesting guests. They had Claris, as my friends like to joke, the third season of Claris. So I don't know how
Yeah,
much you guys know about Claris,
they
but
changed formations a bit,
they
but that's a
exactly they changed formation a bit. Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Um,
that's a big deal that Animethon got Claris. That's like amazing,
it's
actually.
it's extremely big deal. They got Claris, they got Asaka, they got a Visual K band called Shix, and they had a DJ called Yushie. And So what they did is they do this thing. I don't know if they've started this a while ago. I know for sure they did it last year, but they did this thing called Anime Music Fest, and so they spread it throughout all 3 days. So on day one they had Juna, Main, and Shix. On day two they had Asaka, Claris, and DJ Yusie. And on day three they had Miku. And the one thing I found very interesting about the musical guest, again, Juna, main, big Macross draw, so that's what you get. You'll get the Macross crowd there, and they Macross Frontier is like one of the most popular Macross series I think ever. So you would expect like a big draw for that. But then you go to day two and you realize that or rather you think that the biggest draw is actually Claris because day two was packed. It was incredibly packed. It was very impressive to see. And it's all free. Like the concerts are free as long as you have a convention badge.
How much was the
And then
badge?
I think it was I bought it very last minute, so I think it was $75 for me
Wow,
when I bought it.
$75 and you get all of those like major shows included. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, that's crazy. That's crazy. And so again, so you think Claris is like the biggest draw. And then you get to day three, and that's when you realize that Hatsune Miku is actually the biggest draw of all the musical guests. If I thought that day two was packed, day three was almost overflowing. I had never seen that before. That
Yeah.
was that
Now,
was insane.
here's my question about Hatsune Miku. Was it an actual hologram or were they doing the LCD screen thing?
They had the hologram.
They had the hologram because there was a whole
Eh,
controversy a
Oh
couple years
yeah.
ago
Oh
where
yeah. That was yep.
there was a
Yep.
Hatsune Miku tour, but the people who were
Yep.
running it in North America cheaped out and didn't do the
Oh,
actual hologram. They did an LCD
pass.
uh,
It,
screening, or they screened it just on a regular LCD screen. And didn't they did not people basically didn't find out until they were at the show. And the first one was in
so
Vancouver, and there was a lot of people complaining about that. And then it turned out that
yeah.
was happening in all the locations that it went to.
So so they didn't do the hologram at that Miku Expo because I don't think they have the hologram anymore. I think they sold it.
Well, isn't that convenient?
Right. I think they probably didn't expect they would need it again, and
Miku Expo didn't expect they would need the hologram again.
because I think they hadn't done like a big Miku thing in North America in a long time. So and I think that projector is like very expensive to maintain or to store or whatever reason. So they were like, we don't need it anymore. I think I'm not sure if but that's my speculation.
I'm sure there's a
For
lot
some
we don't
reason,
know and we'll never know, but
right, exactly. But for some reason, Animethon um has that projector.
just
I
had
mean,
a
I don't know if
hologram
it.
projector laying
I
around that they could use for
Yeah,
Hatsune Miku.
like I have no idea where they found it, but somehow they have one, and they actually were able to use it, and it was incredible. Like you would never expect that one random convention in Edmonton is going to put out a show that is more impressive than Miko Expo, and yet they did, and yet they
My point
did.
of view is first clear contact. They had the
So,
contacts.
yeah, exactly. They have the contacts, and you again, you oldest anime convention in Canada. You can tell that they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
When it comes to anything related to musical performances, whether it's like uh, J-pop artists or Anison or even like Hatsune Miku or anything like that, it's sometimes it's more about connections than it is about money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have to talk about the autograph system. I don't know if other conventions do that. I think it was like the first time I've seen this done, and I really like it, and I would love more convention to implement it. So the autograph system is a lottery. You apply for so they tell you exactly ahead of time. I mean, like maybe like a month before the con or something, which guest will have what autograph session at what time. So you already know. You apply. So I think most guests add two autograph sessions. So let's say, for example, Juna at an autograph session on Friday and on Saturday. So they give you the option to apply to both autograph sessions. I think about 100 winners are selected. So when you win, you're in theory you're guaranteed an autograph. And then if you didn't win, you get a standby number. So for example, for me, for Juna on Friday, I had standby number 84 or something. So what they do is the artist or the guest will when they'll start signing standby if they're fast enough. Uh, by and what they do is they let you in because the queue area is small, but they let you in by batches. So let's say they'll let in standby number 1 to 20. And then if it moves along, they'll say they'll add standby 1 to 30 and so on and so on. So it gives you so you don't have to line up for hours ahead of time, like in for some other conventions, because you already know from the get-go or from your number whether the odds that you get an autograph are good or not. So you don't waste your time. So
That's
I really appreciated that.
that's nice because most of the other con you have to pay for a premium badge that will guarantee you that you don't have to go waiting for lines
Right.
and
And it's really and another thing that was really cool. So how do you know that they're letting S standby 1 to 20? They have a screen by the autograph line that tells you which guest to line, oh sorry, where's the line for the guest and what number they're doing. And they don't only have that, they also have it on their website. So you could basically go to the artist alley or wherever else and not have to worry about it because let's say your number as your standby 500. Well, you can see where the guest is at, and you could, go do other things instead of, waiting in the autograph area for absolutely no reason. So I really appreciate the way they handled that. I think honestly it's really brilliant. I'm sure you guys will have more to talk about the autograph system at Otakuthon
Oh,
this
I
year. I
got
know I
things to
know that I
say.
know they made some changes.
I never gone to an autograph. I only see that from the
From the back. Oh,
backspace. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, because as a staff, I'm always going into some place, and sometimes I see okay, there's someone who do autograph, but I see there's the premium way and the waiting line was pretty long, so I think it's pretty standard.
Yeah. Another thing that was interesting, and I know there's a lot of there are some debates about whether it's good or not. But I found it interesting is that for the guest Q&A panels, what they did is when you would enter the panel room, you would find QR codes on the chairs that you could scan. It would lead you to a Google Doc where you would enter in your question, and that way the guest handler can pre-screen those questions, and there was an MC who would ask the question for you. So traditionally, the way a guest panel is done is that you line up, you ask your question, and the guest will answer the best of their capabilities. Uh, the Over the years, what I found a bit cringeworthy is somebody will come in and ask a very inappropriate question, and it's not just like one person. A bunch of people will come in and ask a lot of inappropriate questions to the guest. So doing it the QR code way is a way to to avoid those kind of situations. Obviously, it sucks because you don't get to ask the question yourself, but I find it makes the Q&A run smoother.
But does it prevent boring questions from being asked that makes the panel
Oh
boring?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because the MC MC will read the questions. So they'll screen question. They'll basically skip all repeated questions.
Okay.
They'll skip like uninteresting questions. But you also need to find like a good MC. For Edmonton, we had a very, very, very good MC. So he would make questions, even the ones that might sound boring, he would make them fun.
But
So
then
that
I guess
was
the other side of that is that a lot of people go to those Q&As because they want to be able to, have an interaction with the guest, even
that. Yeah,
even
right.
if they don't
So
have a
that
good question. I think that's maybe
right.
I think that's the part maybe people don't always think about,
No,
and
exactly. That's
maybe it's not something we should be worried about too much because people kind of abuse that ability or uh, uh, or something like that. But yeah, it's still an innovative solution. There's
it
no
is. Yeah.
perfect way of doing panels like
No, I don't
these.
think so. Yeah. Yeah, I don't
But
think so. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so that was again, I was really impressed. I didn't talk about the music stuff yet. But overall the convention was pretty great.
how was the
I'm
exhibitors
just like
hall? Like the vendors.
the vendors is significantly smaller than Otakuthon, that's for sure. But I would say it was very well organized.
Going back to what I said earlier about how there's not a lot of people who go back and forth between conventions, or there's further distance to travel between major cities as you go further west. So I think
Mhm.
that really thins out a lot of the exhibitor options.
Oh yeah,
Because I
probably.
know even Annie Revo and Animethon, a lot of vendors go between those two conventions, even though they're very far apart. So it's
Right.
not surprising that their exhibitors hall is not very big because Annie Revo's is also not very big.
Okay.
And I'm assuming there's not very much in the way of like physical media.
Yeah, no, there wasn't that
Yeah.
much. I mean, there were some, but not. It was mostly. So okay, of the things I've seen in the vendors hall, and because it bleeds also into the artist alley, it was very VTuber centric, which I guess makes sense because VTubers are the biggest thing now. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What was there a lot of? Actually, I'll come back to that question after. But
okay.
yeah, tell us you wanted to go on about tell us about the concerts.
Okay, so the concerts, as I said, day one, day two, day three. Concerts. So the way they again very well organized. They got on Friday they got Shix to sing first. Shix is the Visual Kei band. They were very interesting. I'm not the biggest Visual Kei guy, or I'm not into Visual Kei at all. But the guys were fun. They were funny. They knew exactly what to expect from a Canadian audience. They actually got us to sing the anthem, the national Canadian anthem on during the closing ceremonies. So
It's a
that was
Canadian thing that we sing with the singer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was. I mean, I've never experienced that before, but that was funny. Um. Oh yeah. Um. So typically, when you go to a Japanese concert, um, they don't allow any photos or recordings. Uh, for reasons that are beyond my understanding, they allowed video recording and pictures at this con. It's never seen before. I've never seen that done before because usually they will tell you before the show starts. They will remind you no recording, no photography, nothing. Uh, there's no such thing. They said if you're gonna take pictures, make sure there's no flash.
I've seen it a few times allowed, but it is rare.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
So Juna did her she did her obviously she came as a solo artist, so she did her solo artist stuff and y- uh, solo artist stuff, which is like a lot of anime song because she ever since she broke out from well no ever since she got popular and Valkyrie activities stopped a bit, she started like being a decent sorry, a singer of any song for a bunch of decent anime like the Magus Bride. She sang the openings for those. And but she also did like a lot of macro stuff, which she knew people would be excited for. So that was great. Main did the exact same thing. At the end, though, the one thing I was not expecting them to do, it was they did a duet. They did Macross Frontier song together. Um, Again, never I've never seen that done before at an anime convention, where two singers uh, actually collaborate. So that
That
was
that
pretty
sounds like a
magical, I
fun
would say.
surprise.
That
Uh,
was a very fun surprise.
yeah.
Day two was Asaka. Asaka, I'm not too familiar with her stuff. She does the opening for uh Yuru Camp, which is something that people absolutely love. Um, but she has a very fun personality. Actually, she grew up um partly in the United States when she was sorry, she grew up a bit in the United States and moved back to Japan. So she has a pretty good English, for a Japanese guest. She speaks very decently English. Um, so that and she loves memes. So she has a very fun personality. That was very surprising. Actually, going back to Juna real quick, I forgot to mention Juna also tries to learn English, and she actually stayed in Vancouver for 5 weeks 7 years ago. She did a homestay in Vancouver 5 weeks 7 years ago, uh, where she immersed herself in Canadian culture and English. So for her,
Oh,
she was really
interesting.
excited too. Yeah, she was really excited to come back to Canada. She ate a lot of poutine, which is the one thing everyone should do when they come to Canada is eat poutine.
Not the best area
Um,
for it,
Not the best
but
area for it at all. So all my Montreal
you
friends and I kept telling her, you have to come back to you have to come to Montreal next time,
you go to
and or
Montreal
Quebec.
for
Yeah.
for
You're
for
both
for
wrong.
poutine and Saint Hubert,
I'm
and
very sorry.
You go to Vancouver for sushi and
Yeah,
ramen
exactly.
Well, yeah.
and dim
For the
sum.
Putin, for the Putin, I'm very sorry. You're both wrong. You have to
We'll
go
go
to
for
where the Putin is real. So that means in the way in Montérégie, near
Monte.
Drummondville or something like
Okay,
that. Look, you have to go to
Oh,
little places, little village. That's the place where the
that's
Putin is the best.
that's
this
where
is
they
good
got the real
advice.
poutine. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then Claris did their stuff. Very interesting thing about Claris again, as my friend joked, is season three. So as we mentioned earlier, they changed formation a lot, and the current formation is their newest formation. With only one of the girls, the center girl, Clara, being having been there since the very beginning. Um, so for them, in their case, sidetrack, their autograph session, they would not sign any Claris merchandise because they don't have any at the moment with their new formation. So they would give you a pre-signed Shikishi, which makes sense. I would say I'm a bit disappointed they didn't they didn't sign the Shikishi in front of me instead of just handing it out. But you know what? I think it's already a miracle that they got Claris. So you know what? I'll take what we got. And as I mentioned earlier, for day three, Hatsune Miku concert, absolutely mind blowing with the actual holograms. They had a live band too. That's crazy. They had a live band. How did they do that? How did Edmonton do that? I don't get it. I don't get it. What? I don't know.
It's
I'll
magic.
just
It really does sound like magic. I'm not gonna lie.
you think, right? You know, I don't know. Edmonton Animethon, I think it was a success. It was definitely one of the most fun convention I've been to in a long time. Um, I don't want to go back because again, going to Edmonton is a pain in the ass. I just remember on the Friday I had to leave very early in the morning, and I took a red eye to come back to Montreal. I landed in Montreal at 7:10 a.m. I think, and I was at work at 8 a.m. and I just don't want to do that anymore. Please, 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 Sujay, if you listen to this, please don't bring kids. I want to see again.
Come on, Christian. It's you only live once.
Oh
You gotta YOLO your way to Animethon now and again.
God. But yeah, no, there was I didn't mention this, but I don't know, Jesse, have you been to Animethon before?
Never, no.
Okay, you've been to Edmonton, obviously, right?
When I was in middle school, I went to Edmonton one time. Yeah.
Okay. So the area downtown where the convention center is, and the closest hotels near the convention center, I would say it's not the most glamorous area. Yeah, it's really in the sketchy part of town, which was very surprising. I mean, obviously, no, nothing happened during the weekend. That was fine, but it it doesn't seem like a safe area to do a convention. So
I can't comment on that, but different cities have their convention centers in different areas, and it's gonna be kind of a different experience. Not everything's right in like the heart of downtown all the time. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the case in like Vancouver and Montreal, but it varies a lot in other cities. I mean, even like I guess Toronto has their convention center. They have one convention center that's right in the middle of downtown, but that's not where Anime North is. Anime North is in
nah.
the complete middle of nowhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Pierre is asking me. Pierre is asking if people were wearing cowboy gear or what. No.
No, you have to go to Calgary for that, I think.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's that's an
Always.
Otafest thing.
Yeah. Sorry.
Speculation. I don't actually know.
All right, tell me, guys. You guys, tell me about Otakuthon.
Actually, before there was one more question I had about Animethon before
Oh,
we
sorry.
launch into that.
Okay.
So, what was the visibility of K-pop demon hunters at Animethon this year?
It was everywhere. It was
Yeah,
absolutely everywhere.
this has been
Demon
the
Hunter is
trend
the number
at
one. Yeah,
every
obviously.
convention.
I mean,
It's a
but it
world
makes sense.
trend.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you've heard. They're releasing K-pop Demon Enter in theaters. I think
Yeah,
last week. That's what they did last week.
they did.
And
Yeah,
it's packed. It's almost sold out everywhere. It's crazy.
Did you
Like K-pop
notice
Demon
that?
Hunter
The,
is the biggest thing
did you
this year.
notice that the songs are number one on billboards?
Yes.
they sure
I
are.
mean, I have contributed, so I'm very proud of that.
I think it's incredible that the movie had been out for less than 2 months, and
Yeah,
it
it's
was still
crazy.
like people had complete cosplays ready. It was just dominant
That's insane.
in the
That's
artist
insane.
alley at both
Yeah.
conventions apparently, and other conventions as well.
My
It's crazy.
daughter made a costume of K-pop Demon Hunter from scratch
Yeah,
herself
it's brilliant. Yeah,
in
there you go.
two
Yeah.
days. So
Yeah, no, K-pop Demon Hunter is the that's where it's about.
and
That's what
there
it's about. That's
was
right.
a lot of them in Montreal too.
Oh, I'm
Immediately
sure.
noticeable right when you
Yeah.
enter the convention. You're just
Yeah.
assaulting K-pop demon hunter everything. It's almost the first. It's almost guaranteed to be the first thing that you notice upon
That's it.
entering the
Yeah.
convention.
A lot of apothecary there too, but
Oh,
Oh
that I
yes,
was
there were a
expecting.
lot. There
Apothecary
were
Diary
there
and
were not
Freeran
many, but there were, yeah,
Yeah,
still
there were,
Ferran,
yeah.
dominant. Yeah.
Ferran, of course. But
Yeah.
apothecary diary, I'm really happy about that because it's so good. Well, not to say
It's
that
it's so
K-
good. It's so good.
K- K-pop Demon Hunter also is very very good. But I'm really happy about uh, all these things that are really popular. For once, I am loving something that that everyone loves.
I mean,
Yeah,
I generally prefer
the
when the most popular thing at an anime convention is anime, but
I mean,
I'll
I
allow it for K-pop
mean,
demon hunters.
yeah, exactly. There you go. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, do you know that the girl who essentially made the K-pop Demon Hunter, she's a fan of Sailor Moon. So
One of the lead creatives is Canadian, if I'm not
yes,
mistaken. Yeah.
yes, I think she's that's the main creator. I'm
Mhm.
not sure, but anyway, let's talk about
Yeah,
Otakuthon.
but immediately noticeable. That was the first thing we saw when we went to Otakuthon, and we did get our badges mailed to us, which was fantastic. So I'm really happy we didn't have to wait in line to get our badges, and I didn't see what was going on Thursday, but I had to get there. We had to get there really early because we were staying at Chris's place on the Thursday night, so we had to like at my first panel, blatant copyright infringement. I do the music comparisons comparing music in anime to music that it was, to some degree inspired by or maybe ripped off from previously more popular music. That was at 10 a.m. on Friday, so we had to like rush there in the morning, drop off our bags at the hotel, and then get to the convention center. And I got like 4 hours of sleep the night before, which is like, I can function with that amount of sleep. But Pierre, you and Vincent were there bright and early for the panel too, and I think you also had to rush there even more.
Yes, there was a big problem. Actually, I wasn't supposed to drive my way to the con. Usually, I'm being lifted by my friend Joel, but he got very much hurt. And I said to him, stay home. But simply there, I had to drive my way, lifting someone. And the way was very, very good because it's one of my friend and panelists, Michael, who came with me, and we it's just that driving Montreal, it's a hell. It's a fucking hell. There's construction site everywhere, blocking all the way. It's complicated. It's tough, and the usual way I was driving the Palais des Congrès. Wasn't construction, so I couldn't. I have to go to a different parking lot. But that had gone well, more well than I remember before. So that part was okay, and we could go to the con very, very fast. We had the chance to add or receive our badge, because since we're staff, we have to go to a different line. So we got our badge very early. I watched my watch and tell myself, okay, I want to go to Jesse's panel. I still have half an hour. Let's go soon. And it was a good decision, and because there was a reason for me to go there very soon. It's because Jesse has asked me, the club, the Nadeshiko club, to become a member. So it was his exam. It was his examination,
and I passed. I am now an honorary member of the Nadeshiko club.
You passed in flying colors.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really happy you guys enjoyed that panel. It is probably my most popular one. I've done the most times, so it's always a hit. People love hearing those music comparisons.
I wasn't alone watching his panel. I was with Vincent, as you said it, and your other panel. I don't remember what it was. About
the other one you were at was History of Television in Japan.
History of Television.
Yeah, next day.
Also was very good. Except that I had to go away to prepare for my own panel Saturday. But Mathieu, or other co-president, watched it.
When I saw Matthew, when I saw that Matthew was in the back, I was just sweating and was like, oh my God, he's gonna. Matthew, as I mentioned earlier, he does he's a professor, and he does extremely extensively researched and presented academic panels in French. So I mean, I love seeing his panels, and I can follow when he's talking about things that I'm familiar with, and can still learn things. Sometimes if he gets into things that I'm not familiar with, I get kind of lost. But you can still tell just how dense and informative his panels were. So yeah, I'm glad he liked History of Television in Japan, even though I think it's a little simplified compared to how he explains things. But yeah, it was great doing that panel. I thought that went really well too.
I didn't feel it was simplified. It was very true. That's much informative. You are the type of member that we were searching for. So
Nice.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I am. It's an honor to know that. And hopefully I'll be back next year. It's expensive to fly out to Montreal, but
you've really taken to Montreal, Jesse. That's pretty cool.
I haven't taken to the construction. The construction is awful. And I haven't experienced it in the winter, of course. So
No, I was gonna say, I hope if you come back to Montreal that you get the chance to see the Biodome this time. And Schwartz. I can't believe it's been like twice now in Montreal and no Schwartz. So that's
it's bad. It's
that
just bad luck and bad timing. I wanted to get down to
yeah.
Fairmount bagels as well,
Bagel.
and we didn't.
Yeah.
And a big reason I wanted to go there is just because the mascot looks like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and I just want to.
Next year, try to come for a week, and try
Ooh.
to come to Quebec City. You need to visit at least the old city of Quebec.
Yeah,
It's
that's true. I agree with
beautiful.
you. You need to go visit Quebec City. That's
Yeah,
true.
I gotta maybe plan a little more of an extensive tour of the province.
And
We'll
it's
see
what
what might be feasible next year. I did one more panel at the convention. I know Pierre, you didn't make it to this one, but it was Anime Grindhouse. So
I
I
think
got a little bit of a
Vincent got there. Vincent got there and told
Vince
me
Vince
it was
did
good.
get there, and I'm glad he enjoyed it. I got a little bit of a gripe towards the convention about this one. So I submitted 4 panels to them. They approved 2, and then they also approved this one. It was approved 1 week before the convention, but there's two problems. One, it's a 2-hour panel. They cut it down to 1 hour. And also,
Yeah.
they didn't actually email me to tell me that the panel had been approved. I found out because it was in the guidebook, and my friend messaged me.
Surprise.
My friend Michelle messaged me and said, "Oh, congratulations! You got your Anime Grindhouse, your 3rd panel approved." I'm like, what are you talking about? That's news to me, and that's actually, having to cut that panel down to 1 hour was actually a lot of work, and I kind of didn't appreciate having that extra work kind of pop up at the last minute for that. And like cutting it down to 90 minutes would have been okay, but cutting it down to 1 hour was a little excessive. But I didn't push back or argue. I just like, okay, I'll do it. I'm still more than happy to present the panel. And I did. It went well. It was a little messy, but the audience really enjoyed it. I know. Actually, interesting thing, at the end of that panel, a guy came up to me. So he was doing a panel that weekend, and I did go to it. It was about the old OVA Dream Hunter Rem. It was called Mainstreaming Insane 80s Hentai. So that, finally there's a panel for the sickos. And he was like asking me, he was saying like, why is your panel so good? How do you, he was asking me like my comic timing and how I get it down. I couldn't really answer his questions because I never really thought about my approach all that much, but he wanted advice, and I just tried my best to let him know. So I did go to his panel on the Saturday night. We stayed up pretty late for it, and it was interesting. Like I've seen Dream Hunter Rem. I didn't realize that the uncut hentai version of that OVA had apparently surfaced from some person's collection in Brazil. And he was asking at the panel,
Wow.
why do these things always surface in Brazil? I think it's because of Nazis. But nonetheless, he showed the footage, and it was interesting to see for sure. And I don't want to be too critical because like this guy might be listening. I know he was. I told him about my podcast, so he might be listening to it. So I'll give him. If he's listening, I'll give him my advice. That the first part of the panel was actually really good, but for the rest of it, he was just kind of showing clips and summarizing each episode of the OVA and just kind of riffing it a little bit. And frankly, it's not that he wasn't funny. It's just the material was too thin for him to work with. And I would have left from a panel like that at about the halfway point after it stopped being interesting. But he had talked to me after my panel, so I wanted to stay and watch the whole thing. But still, he had the right idea, and I think his next panel will be a lot better. I'm glad. It was just cool that someone was talking about that at all. It was just maybe not enough content to support a whole panel on its own.
To
But
do panel, to be better at doing panel, you have to do panels.
yeah,
You have to
exactly.
begin. You have to begin to be bad at and evolve. You that's the only way. It's the only way to be good in most of things. You don't begin to be good. You may have experience for doing other things. For example, Mathieu and Patricia, they were good at the beginning because they had experience to talk to big group of people, to expose their ideas. That's what university is.
Yeah, they
Uh,
had academic experience. That's what was the basis for their approach.
I have experience. I was doing radio and
Oh
podcast,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I love
Hmm.
the thing. I'm also, well, half time. Sometimes a YouTuber when I have time, and I'm talking to like that. I'm doing role playing games that include to talk to people. That's the way I become be better to do panels, and that's you have to take habit to talk people. That's the best way to become good at panels. The rest is just preparation.
So to get into the musical acts at Otakuthon a little bit. So I didn't make it to any of them. There were two. So there was Mindarin. Who was the other
Yeah.
groups that who were the other groups that were there again?
Spire
And Shouta
and
Aoi.
Shota Aon. Did you
Yeah, who
go? Did you
was
see his concert at all?
I guess I'll talk about that first. So everything with Shouta Aoi was ridiculous. Like on the way it appeared in the guidebook and all the information they posted online, it seemed like it was going to be like really open and kind of free. I guess I know Shouta Aoi is extremely popular. I didn't really have a sense of how big he'd be interpreted by
Uh,
Canadian anime convention standards, because
mm.
he is a big name, but he's not big in the same way that like say Claris is. It's kind of a different audience. So I wasn't really sure what to expect. And maybe I still don't really know what the reality of that answer was, because it was everything with Shouta Aoi, whether it was the autograph or whether it was the concert, was locked behind this ridiculous token system that was very restrictive. I think there was only a limited number of tokens that would be allowed, or people with tokens would be allowed to see his concert, even though it was advertised as like kind of free and in the main convention center without an extra charge. To get the tokens, you had to go to like the autograph area 10 a.m. right when it opened each day and get in a special line, get your token, and then come back and potentially maybe be able to use the token later. It depends on your place in line when you return for the actual concert or the autograph later. And I like Shouta Aoi and everything. I mainly just wanted his autograph so I could create like a Pop Team epic shrine in my house somewhere with that in the center,
Yeah.
because I thought it would be really funny. And I would have tried to get it, but my panels conflicted with the token, the times that you had to get the tokens, so it was just kind of impossible for me, and I didn't bother. And I wasn't too bummed out about it. But and
To
also
be
he did,
honest,
yeah,
no, I was gonna say I heard there may have been like a mini stampede in the
yeah,
morning
yeah.
too. So,
Not super surprising. Yeah.
no.
It would have been cool to see the concert, but again, once I saw how many hoops you had to jump through to get into it, I kind of lost interest. In fact, just being able to pay extra to see the concert would have been preferable, and that was the case
Mm.
with Mindarin. And I was very tempted to, because it was $45 to see your concert, and they had moved a lot of the musical acts over to the Play de Sar, which I gotta say is real cool, because they weren't conflicting with the Oshiega Music Festival this weekend. They were
And
able
Mm.
to use that venue. They had access to it, and
it's
like
also
you're
giving a lot of space in the con
exactly,
to do
yeah,
things that this year compared to last year's were completely like Montreal with construction with cars. It was stuff last year. This year we can go to one place to another without bumping, without having to be in the completely stuffed people that can't walk. No, you can walk. It was more area, and they
yeah.
also developed a bit more at the metro level. That's where they made the gaming room, the video gaming room. And
Really?
Yeah, they
yes,
put
and
the gaming area was in the Oasis Immersion Center.
yes,
And we're
What?
jumping around a bit, but I gotta say, I gotta just jump in and say that is the coolest gaming area I have ever seen at any convention ever.
Ooh.
oh yeah,
They had
light show.
projection screens with the games,
Yes,
but they were also like projecting
Wow.
animations of the mascots around the rooms. It was like going to it was almost like going to like a mini Team Labs kind of show
Oh,
like you'd
oh,
go to in Japan. That's what I compare it to.
how prevalent was Uma Musume in
uh,
any gaming area?
I don't. I didn't see that. I've gone to the special place, there was an arcade, a real arcade with arcade game, and there was a Uma Musume game there. That
Okay.
that and I barely know Uma Musume. I just watched Cinderella Grey. Okay, I know it's pretty popular. I've seen a lot of cosplay of Uma Musume. I know it's uber popular in a lot of for a lot of people, but I didn't. I'm not much into that. I didn't see that much of Uma Musume in gaming room. I barely go there and see, oh, okay, this is the gaming room and this is overwhelming and this is really good. If I stay there too long, I'm gonna have seizures.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
so
Is
I had to
is
go
there?
through there because there was a very nice little food stand inside that place too, with
Oh,
not that much sorry, costly bento box and things like that. That was very good. And they also put the staff. How can I say? Bar, and it's not a bar. It's a place to go take snacks. There was a staff room for snacks, and it was very appreciated by the staff because before we
nice.
had to go we had to go outside and go to another hotel and go to some place in that hotel to get those snacks. That wasn't that much, but this year, so much improvement, so much, and we
Nice.
have to congratulate Otakuthon to make all this improvement. We enjoy the quality of life in the con.
No, that's great. That you know what this is what it's about.
It's such a
Quality
big
of life.
convention at like 34 to 36,000 people, but with the way everything was organized in the Congress Center or in the Montreal Convention Center, it was like it didn't feel overstuffed or difficult to navigate around or even like a massive convention. It felt very comfortable. They used the
Oh,
space
that's good
very
to hear.
well. Yeah. And I mean, I was there with my wife, and she doesn't like going to like big crowded conventions, but she had a good time, and she found it pretty easy to navigate around, and she enjoyed herself. She was kind of nervous about going to such a big event, but
Oh,
it all worked
really?
out really well. And yeah, I think that moving the really big music concerts over to Play to Star made a contributed towards that as well. And I
Towards
hope
it.
that they're
Yeah.
able to do that in the future, and that they don't
Yeah.
conflict with other events that will stop them from doing that. And as I was saying, I was interested in seeing Mindarin. I was willing to pay
Yeah.
$45 for the ticket because it seems worth it on top of the price of the convention. But I went to Vincent's panel instead. His review of the year 1998, and yeah, I that was really good. 1998 is a really interesting year for anime because I think a lot of it people think of it as the year of, oh, it's the year of Cowboy Bebop, it's the year of Lane, but there's a lot of interesting stuff. It's really the year that late night anime took off. It's also the year that anime really started on the the satellite service Wow Wow as well,
Oh,
and yeah, so Matthew and Vincent hosted that panel. It went in a lot
Just
into. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Philip and me were there too. We were
Yeah.
support
Yes.
staff on this. And it's our second time doing it. We have done it before at Nadishcon, and Patricia was on the panel too at that time. But well, Patricia couldn't come this year, so we've done it with four people, and yeah, went far well better than last time. They were
oh, that's good.
really happy that done so well for 1988.
Yeah. Again, it was all in French, and I don't speak French. I should work on that. But I at this time I don't speak French, but I was familiar with a lot of what they were talking about, so I found it pretty easy to follow. Still.
Next year, I'm gonna talk to you in French, so you're gonna practice.
Well, okay. I'll be ready. I'll try to be ready.
So also they changed something also in the organization of the panels. All panel now have a 30 minutes floating time between each panel.
Oh, that's
So
smart.
yeah, well, my group wasn't so charmed about that at the first
Oh,
because
really?
we had about 21 hour of time to make our panel, and with that, it shrank to 15 hours. So that's not.
Ah,
Yeah, it cuts
So
it.
okay.
That's the problem of doing it that way,
It
and that's been a
cuts. It cuts in other panels time. I get it. I
yeah
see.
yes,
that's been an issue, a kind of a controversial thing at Any Revo. They actually have always had the 30-minute buffer, but they have very limited panel space, and that significantly cuts down on the number of panels that they can have. And I can
Mm.
see that having a bit of an, even though it gives you a lot of breathing room, even at a big convention like Otakuthon, that's going to cut down on the just amount of time you can have for panels in general.
we've seen the positive about that. So yes, it's given us a lot of breathing room, but it's also we found it's way too long. So we thought, okay, we can work on that. And some people, mainly Vincent and Michael, uh, push music and most precisely some video that they wanted to show between the panels. So mainly Vincent made some 1 year. What's the best panel? What's the best anime of this best that year? His own top 10. If we can say, and some people liked it. We didn't push that much with that. Sometimes we had a technical problem to solve, and since Joel couldn't come, he's the technician usually. Well, I had to do his job, so that's why I was pretty much completely. In fact, occupied all the weekend. I had to do the job of 2 person. So
Yeah, with my panels, I always try to have about 15 minutes of pre-roll content to run before the panel, so there's something for people to watch as they're coming into the room. Because once I've had one panel set up, it's pretty easy to set them up after that point.
yes, but sometimes it's technical problem.
Yeah.
The HDMI don't work. You have to restart. The sound don't work. Some things like that. We had help from the technician from Otakuthon, but sometimes at one point we were about 6 person with technical abilities who work through problems to solve them, and it was the one who's the less technical about it who solved it. That's the funny thing. He decided to try something that I've had that one time. Let's try this, and it worked. So
I spent a lot of my Saturday wandering around the abandoned underground tunnels in Montreal, so I missed a lot of the panels in the middle of the day. But you had a couple that you were participating in at that time.
yes,
Could you tell us a bit about those?
but I can tell not only from mine, but so some really good panel that we made. First, we had a panel from our new one of our new member, Audrian, about the universe of manga, Harlequin manga. You know about the Roman.
Mm.
Yeah,
They're also
lots of adaptations
novel.
of those
Yeah,
stories. Yeah.
yes, in manga. I was really surprised about that, but it was a very very good panel. Also, Philip has done a panel about I've sound. I don't know that much about that, but
I
it's
some from like key, like the key
Yeah,
label.
yeah.
yes,
The
Oh,
label.
nice.
I caught a little of that one. It was really good.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
Uh, Also, we made a remarquable oublié. Sadly, you
Yeah, so this one
missed.
conflicted with History of Television in Japan, so that
Yes,
means that neither of us made it to that one. And it's too bad because I had requested that my panel not conflict with that one. But
yeah.
go figure. So I was sorry to miss that. That was my favorite panel from the National Club last year. But yeah, it happens. I hear it
Well,
went really well, though.
yes, it went very well, and we can give you the PDF. Don't worry. With Michael, we done a panel about cooking a GRPG. That was a very fun panel where we give people plastic plastic vegetable to peel and cut for making the plate. We had a lot of fun. Michael is incredibly funny. that and I was just helping him with giving some talk. Sorry, that was one of our best panel. We're gonna do more funny panel like that next year. We got, as I said, the waifu war and the husband war, where or panelists are literally fighting together to get the best waifu and the best husbando. These panel all jam packed. So that's very, very funny. I made the Le Gros Cru, the big. Well, as I said, I'm a sommelier of anime, so I treat anime like wine, and I'm pretty much inspired by Rock et Belles Oreilles, old humorist group, and treat well differentiate, and I'm also giving my that work at the government, and in Quebec the Société des Alcools, SAQ, is government based to give alcohols to people, to sell alcohol to people. So we use that. I use that point to make like I'm an employee and talking about anime like their wine. It's really funny. People like it a lot. I had a full room of people. It was very good. And now for Sunday, we begin very hard with Ranma and a half panel by Mathieu. Ranma 1989 versus Ranma 2024. It's a very good panel about really what was the difference, how they were made, the difference also with the manga. That was very nice. We had a lot of people too.
I wanted to catch that one as well, but unfortunately, actually, we went to Muru Crepe, which is that studio. Yeah. Totally, I'm sure totally authorized Studio Ghibli themed cafe down by Old Montreal. It was really nice. I had maybe the best yogurt parfait I have ever had in my life. I didn't know a yogurt parfait could be like that aesthetic looking, but they did it, and I'm glad I went there.
Yeah,
it was very very hot.
You're gonna have to send me the link because I don't think I've heard of that place before.
I'll send you the link.
There's also K2 Bistro. K2 Bistro, sorry. It was a sushi place, totally legit, as you said, of Ghibli. No, it's more near the old place where Otakuthon were at the beginning.
So Concordia.
Concordia University. Yeah. So there was a Zelda panel that Mikael made again a big success, and Dr. Dave gave us a wonderful performance with his Miyazaki flying machine.
I went to that one. That panel was absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
he just very in-depth dive into the different real flying machines that inspire the what Hayao Miyazaki has put in his films, or at least his early films.
We were very he was and the public was very emotive about his own experience and everything he said. That was touching a lot of us.
Yeah, I know. He made it. It was a very personal panel for him, and I know he doesn't do that with all his panels. And a lot of his stuff focuses like on military stuff a lot of the time. But I found this was this one was really different. It was very personal for him, very in depth. It was a this is one of the good panels for sure. If you ever at a con where he's doing this panel, I highly recommend it. It was also funny. I noticed in the audience a lot of people were surprised when he was talking about On Your Mark, because they obviously had never seen that music video. So it's like, well, was it a Miyazaki movie I hadn't heard of? Like, no, it's this great music video. Maybe one of the best things he's directed.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he will. He have done it to Anime North too. Maybe he will done it again. I don't know.
He was at Anime North. They put him in the tiniest room for that one, though.
Yeah, that sadly Anime North is not well,
We're
since
not
I
talk-
can't
we don't have to
go,
talk about Anime North
yeah.
anymore
Okay.
today.
Anyway, also we had one last panel with Mathieu, a Lost in Translation,
Yes.
the anime generic made in France. It was very funny, very full pack of people
Yeah.
who were.
I was
Very
not
informative.
expecting the room to be completely full when I got in there. I had trouble finding a seat.
Well, you should
Wow.
come in front with me. I could find you a place.
Okay.
Next time, come to me. We're always helping our member.
Yeah, that panel, there seemed to be a scheduling issue with that because it was scheduled as 1 hour, but it was 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that was a little odd.
Yeah.
I was not able to follow a lot of things in this panel because he got very in depth about localization history in both France and Italy, and a lot I don't know too much about those intersections. I know all about Hayam Saban, and most of the stuff we've discussed on the show, and Club Dorothée and all that stuff, but a lot of the sort of political things I wasn't as familiar with. I should probably look into that more. But the best part was when he was doing the comparisons of the Japanese openings and the France openings for a lot of shows at the end. Nothing prepared me. I was not prepared for some of them, especially High School Kimen Gumi, which might be the
So
worst
good.
localized
I love
anime
it.
opening I have ever
No,
seen.
I
I'm sorry,
disagree.
Christian. It
I
is
disagree.
Oh, well, you are Solomon in France. That opening is horrible, but we lived through that.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It really highlights how authentic the Quebec dubs were compared to a lot of the France ones that came out later too.
Yeah, we were very lucky to have the Quebec in the time the Quebec dub in the time I was. Now it's non-existent. It's always the France dub. Only movies that are also dubbed in Quebec.
Yeah.
Because it's not it's cheaper. It's cheaper. But in France, sorry,
Cinelume did a dub for for that animated Lord of the Rings movie that came out last year. That's a rare Quebec dubbed anime that we saw essentially.
Sometime I need to make you listen to Bad Boys' first movie, the Quebec dub, and he at one time you say, "Hey, let's go eat a poutine."
The related note, apparently the Quebec dub of The Simpsons is coming to an end. I know there might be some mixed opinions about that, but that's been something of an institution for a long time, and
it's one of the first.
Yeah,
it wasn't a first localization, and in the old time it was very well made, but this time in Quebec, not much people listened to it in French, so there was no much use, and
yeah. See, that's interesting because like a lot of in the in the Anglophone side, we've kind of been under the impression that the Quebec dub of The Simpsons is like this huge institution, or at least Teletoon La Nuit has treated it like that over the years. But they've now lost the rights because Disney Plus is yanking it from them, and they seem to just be sticking with the France dub.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Well, French people are much more than people in Quebec, and much more listener. And with Disney Plus, they know how much people watch it with these dubs, so they decided it wasn't worth the. And most of the people who were doing voices in the old times when that began, they're not there anymore, and that was voices that people love to hear.
Yeah.
And let's just say also that it's not the same things like the old time.
Well, that's an issue just even with the regular version of The Simpsons, though. Like, how much longer are these voice actors even going to be alive for? So, the show may outlive them, and that's going to be.
Very
You know what?
possible.
I kind of don't want to think about. I don't want to think about New Simpsons at all, really. But that is a little bit of a
Neither are
troubling
they.
thing to think about when you're,
Yeah.
especially when you bring up like AI and stuff like that.
No, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, that interesting. Sorry, that was just a side thing I wanted to bring up because I thought that was a little interesting. But yeah, to wrap up, Otakuthon. One thing I noticed, we were talking about industry a little bit earlier. Media Blasters was not there in the dealer's hall at all, which was
That
unfortunate because
surprised
there's a
me.
couple things I wanted to buy from their table, if you can believe it. But yeah, they weren't at Anime North either, so seems
I
they might be
I don't think I've
retreating a
seen that
little bit.
Animethon.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't know
think
if
I've
they
seen
usually
them.
go to that one. I think they usually just do the
Hmm.
Eastern conventions.
Eastern, yeah,
Yeah, but I
that would
didn't
make
see them at
sense.
Anime North, didn't see them at Otakuthon. Remao was at the convention. They did a panel. I did not make it to the panel. But
Ooh.
Remao, of course, they are the company. They run the YouTube channel It's Anime by Remao, and they're currently streaming the new Hell Teacher Nube. They're streaming There's No Freaking Way the Yuri show. There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. And they're also putting up old stuff. Like, actually, they are legally uploading the Japanese English subtitled version of High School Kimengumi right now, as well as Kochikame and a couple of other titles. But it's an interesting approach. They're kind of putting things, uploading them, and then taking them down from YouTube, which is a little frustrating. But then you compare it to something like Daisuke from 15 years ago, which was a platform
Mm.
run by Japanese companies that didn't work at all. Remao is a similar kind of organization run by a bunch of companies in Japan, and they're just using YouTube as their platform. But I again didn't make it to the panel. Maybe I could have asked some questions about that, but it was still interesting to see them have a presence at Otakuthon at all, though.
I have a question. And I don't know if you've noticed, but well, probably not compared to that last year. But so from what I understand, this year, Palais des Congrès, no, sorry, Otakuton closed earlier than they've ever done
Yes, yes.
because of the metro thing. I was just
Well,
wondering if oh, I mean that's the reason that people are saying is that because of the
So
people leaving the metro and all the thing. I don't know if that's the real reason. I'm just wondering if you've noticed like an actual impact.
it's one of the reason.
Okay.
Another reason. Well, first, there's not much people who come more late than that, but after one
Hmm.
hour. Second, it's cost for the Palais de Congrès for employees. They're really
Ah,
costly to have employees at night. So
okay.
it's given there. So why should they leave this whole place open for
Hmm.
just less than 100 people? Well, while this
Okay.
is a con of 34 and plus people, 34,000 and plus people.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
one
that
impact I
that
noticed wasn't so much on when the con closed, because I mean I think as we talked about our last Otakuthon um, episode, many people just commute to the convention because
Yeah.
yes.
it's right by the metro. So it's understandable that not a lot of people stay past midnight anyway.
Mhm.
But the impact I noticed was in the morning when it opened. They didn't let anyone in until 10 a.m. and that created a
Hmm.
huge gridlock. That was very inconvenient when I was trying to get to my own panel room. And I know I could have waved my badge and gotten and just said I had a panel and gotten up there, but still, like, who would, if my panel had started at 10 instead of 10:30, who was even going to be there to present to if there was still
Right.
a huge crowd of people who weren't being let into the con?
I have
Like,
two
Hmm.
things to say about that.
yeah,
First, it's the main entrance who's blocked. If you go to the side entrance near the Oasis, you can show a badge and you can enter
Oh yeah, that's true.
in advance.
That was the same way last year. Yeah, yeah. There's
yeah.
a
They
back
And
entrance.
they
nearly
they weren't
nobody
letting
know about it.
they weren't letting people into the there's that area at the convention center where it's supposed to be an exit only, but people just keep entering in when people leave the door open. and sometimes they try to stop people from going in, but then they kind of gave up after a certain point.
Yeah,
But
you should have to go
they were not letting people in through there in the morning. But
at
it's
the
it's
beginning.
interesting that they were letting people in near the Oasis though.
Yeah, the well, that place is special, but I know I know what they sometimes they give conflicting information to the staff and Benevol. Uh, Sorry, how can I say Benevol in English?
Volunteer.
Volunteer, sorry. Uh, and Also, the other thing, we were beginning our panels at 10 a.m. because last year at 10 a.m. there was people to get there. Sometime much, sometime not much, but there was people who were coming at 10 a.m. and they will always be. So I'm okay with beginning at 10 a.m. So that's all I have to say on the matter. As for the people
Okay.
who's going out of the late, uh, yeah, as you said, most of people commute, and that's one of the reason most of people go away.
Okay.
Okay.
So before we wrap up, I was going to give another 5 minutes. Are there any other maybe any other conventions or smaller events that you folks have been to this summer that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah,
Mm.
just yesterday I've gone to the Cosplay de l'Imaginaire, one of the, if not, I think it's the oldest anime event in Quebec. It's at l'Imaginaire in Quebec City's Place Laurier. It's a small con, very small. It's a 1 day event. A lot of cosplayer, of course. Um, there was a it was fun. It was fun. Not much to say. I'm also trying to go to do panels at the Comic Con of Quebec, who's gonna be in October, where some of the Nadeshko Club will try to do panel there, and I'm gonna be to Festival Draconis, a role-playing game con in Montreal, Old Montreal College.
One thing I wanted to mention is that yesterday before the recording of this episode, I was at the SFU Anime Summer Festival, which I hadn't. So I actually was one of the people who started this event back in 2011 after Anime Evolution, or the original Anime Evolution, collapsed. It was just a 1 day event we hold in the Convocation Mall area of Simon Fraser University, the Burnaby campus, famously the place that G Savior was filmed, along with Battlestar Galactica and Stargate SG-1 and a lot of other Vancouver filmed sci-fi classics. But it's basically a big kind of artist festival with live performances and games and food that we hold there, and it's been very popular over the last decade or so. It's had a rough time coming back since COVID hit us. They brought it. The club, the university club, brought it back in 2022. It took a couple of years to work things out with the student society. I was not involved at that point, and it was a little bit of a mess. There were way too many attendees. There was a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out from people who hadn't been to the summer festival in a while and were worried that they weren't going to get another chance to. And it was too successful, and that wound up getting it shut down in 2023. They weren't able to bring it back to the university because they couldn't get a safety plan put together properly. So they did it in BCIT in 2024. That was a big mess in a gym, no air conditioning. Not the most pleasant experience. But this year, they were able to bring it back to Simon Fraser University. Again, they worked things out with the student society, but there were conditions. They had to enforce crowd control, and I actually got involved with the event again this year because I wanted to help with that. And it wasn't perfect. We had to have a line. There was a cap of 1,000 people allowed in the Convocation Mall area at all times, and we had to charge admission as well. But we tried our best to keep things as streamlined as possible to let people in quickly, limit the line. It didn't go perfectly, but honestly, I think it worked out pretty well, and it was really great to have it back at the university. Everyone is happy to have it back at that Convocation Mall area, because that is the best place to have it for sure. There were lots of stage performances. The games were a big hit. They had lots of great food from different vendors. Artists were great as always, even though they had to cut down on the number a little bit this year. And I was really happy with how it went. The club did a great job with it, I got to say, especially since they had a little bit of a short timeline to work on it. And most of the staff was new. They had not actually run the event before. So, bang up job, guys. I'm glad it went well, and I think everyone had a good time.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. If you come to Vancouver for any anime event, I would say that's the one to go for, even though there's
Wow.
kind of a ticket restriction. But I think everyone who wanted to get in was able to get in. So
Oh,
not a
that's
big
pretty
deal.
cool.
About 2,000
Yeah.
people in total there. So
Okay. Wow.
yeah. All right, everyone. We got to wrap up here. So yeah, Pierre, where can people find you? You already mentioned what cons you're doing for the rest of the year, but where can people find you online? I know you got YouTube stuff and any social media.
Well, on YouTube, I'm Ale RPG and anime. Well, I'm mostly doing things in French, so it's role-playing game and anime. I'm on Facebook. There's the Nadishko Club, of course, and the the Ghostbuster family on Facebook too. And I'm on Facebook on mainly that.
All right. And Christian, where can people find you? And what are you up to?
Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky and Twitter at Kurosuki. I haven't been doing a lot lately, again because of work, but I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things. I don't know if I mentioned last time I was on the podcast. I had a podcast with my friend where we rank any song.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, this
been
has
in
come up a couple
hiatus
times.
for
Yeah.
some time, but we're hoping to bring it back very soon. So it's Super Anderson
Great.
Tyson on Spotify.
All right, great. And yeah, thanks for tuning into Zonan Canada. You can reach me on Blue Sky at jbetteridge or email zonancanada@gmail.com. The theme song is by Ultraclystron. That can be found on his album Packet Flood, which you can find at ultraclystron.com. Please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And I'll see you again.